Hola, and welcome to the SWRA podcast, where aging, wellness, and wisdom intersect. I am your host, Maggie Lazar, and I am delighted to have you on. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the family. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. I was doing a video yesterday and something came to mind. We talk about wisdom and how much I think it is a desirable goal as we age, and even some of us, as we were in our younger years, we were wise beyond beyond our years. And I think I was one of those people. I've always been like the old soul, kind of boring, deep thinker. So, I mean, it's kind of boring. I am a very boring person, but I like myself, right? So it's okay if somebody finds me boring. But one of the things that I discovered again in my 50s, I was thinking about that this morning, and I'm like, that decade in my life was the decade of enlightenment because a lot of things started to make sense. I think, as I always say, when we are young, we're married with kids and careers, and we're just on that Ferris wheel. We're just barely making it and surviving. No time to think through life. And that's why we make some of the worst decisions of our lives, right? Because we don't have time to kind of sit and do the pros and cons and do the analysis that it required. One of the things I kind of got a handle on was the pressure I was putting on myself, pressure of expectations for from people, and I got to go way back to when I was in school, being taught by the nuns who came from Belgium and France. And I have to say, I am grateful for the education I received because it set the bar really high. But with the bar being set high, then you have family pressure to get married, right? Societal pressure to hold a job, um, get the promotion and buy the house, the car, OMG, right? And then you go back and you're like, well, the people who raised me, the people who taught me, held me to a higher standard. Excuse me. So therefore, I must succeed. I must do this. I must do that. Can you see the pattern of how much the pressure is piling onto one humble person? So in my 20s, I was like, I need to do this. And what this was going to be, I had no clue, whether it was the president of a company or owning multiple businesses and being listed on the Inc. 500 and whatever it was, I was putting all that pressure on myself, the expectations to do something grand, something to be talked about, something to be remembered, having people, talk about me, my name. And it's like in my 50s, I'm like, hold up, sis. You don't need to do all that. And let me tell you, it was a humbling experience. It was like this audible sigh of relief, of the shoulders going down and saying, you mean I don't have to do something big for people to talk about me and for me to feel like I am answering my ancestors' call, that I'm doing this for the people, for the culture. Listen. I had to come to terms to understanding that my worth was not tied to my deeds, right? People, and again, I got to the point where you don't even worry about what people think. Once you've, gotten that truth and you've embraced it, you're like, I am me. I need to look at myself in the mirror and said, I like you. You are worthy. You good, sis. You don't have to go to Africa and be a missionary and then write books and live among the baboons. You don't have to do all that. Listen, if that's what you want to do, that is what brings you joy. Go ahead. But that wasn't me. No, not in the forest of the baboon. No. But I had to come to terms to I can be successful in the small things. And it is a huge truth for some of us to get off that pedestal that we set ourselves on, that we think people want to see us up there when you could be so much more effective down below, holding somebody's hand, working someone one-on-one, working with a child, being an advocate, feeding the homeless. Listen, once I understood that, I was free. I was free. So my point is that you don't have to do anything big. You don't need people to talk about you. You just be you in your corner. And you've heard that simple saying, bloom where you planted. Do not seek outside people to say, oh, well done. You don't need that. You pat yourself on the back. And then when you go to sleep with a clear conscience. Oh, I was looking at a quote by one of those freedom fighters, and she said, my feet be sore, but my soul is at peace. Oh, all right, sis. I hope you take this with you today, understanding that your worth is not tied to how many things you're doing and how many things talk about you. Be you, be true to yourself, and be happy and pat yourself on the back. That's all you need. All right, go out there, be a good human, and I'll see you tomorrow. God loves you. I love you. Au revoir. À la prochaine. Bye.